Yep, and then here's the other thing too. So I'm a big Space Force guy. I'm a very big proponent of like the Space Force is by far the most important branch of the military. It should be separated out from the Air Force, and it should be the preeminent branch of the military, right? Because if you think about it, if you have these direct energy weapons based in space, right? So like essentially like a giant laser,
We
right?
do.
That solar charges off the sun, right? Instead of if you are in a combat situation, going and spending, every time we fire a missile, every time we shoot one of those radar guided artillery munitions, this is hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars per shot every single time, right? So the defense contracts that make this have a huge line vested interest to continue stirring the pot because every time any little thing around the world pops off, they just start raking it in. If our preeminent situation was in space and it was solar charged direct energy based weapons, right? That works against, if there's a plane flying at us in our airspace, zap, right? The balloon, Chinese balloon, zap. If there's a boat coming into our area, zap the boat, zap the guy, zap the tank, right? It beats everything, right? Nothing beats the space laser. So, and it would be cheaper, right? So now instead of, oh, this costs, $5 million per shot, this is the cost per shot is pretty much free because the energy solar charges off the sun, and now we're essentially removing a massive financial vested interest in our government to go start wars everywhere while at the same time maintaining our military superiority, if that makes sense, so we can stay safe, right? So scratching both itches, and this is another one of the ways here. So this is in 2000, I want to say 11 or 13.
You know,
They made
we had those in
cluster.
the 80s. Those are called CBUs, cluster bomb units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had made those illegal, I want to say in like 2011 or 2012, around that time. And my dad had worked. He would sell the Raytheon engineering staff the software they used to design electrical components for inside those bombs and missiles.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just gone to one of my favorite massive raves out in the desert in Vegas called EDC. So I was asking these guys, like, hey, since you can't use those anymore, would you mind if we use those cluster munitions as concert props at EDC, right? That'd be a lot of fun. And they were like, yeah, we totally would give them to you, but they have white phosphorus in them. So they would poison everything. And so it's like, oh, damn. So a little while later, we had this major fire in Arizona. It was in this place called Yarnell. And a bunch of firefighters, like the fire shifted really fast on them and they ended up dying. And so if you look around, we have these major problems with forest fires. It swallows up all this beautiful land every year. And one of the problems is we still have this antiquated system where it takes them forever to get there, right? So they go get a bunch of guys and it takes them sometimes several days to get back out into the woods to go put this fire out, right? And so I was saying, okay, you guys are doing this new space-based missile defense sensors, right? And they're essentially these really high-res heat sensors, right, where they can detect really small heat signatures. So I was saying, hey, what if we took those cluster munitions, we repacked them with these fire extinguishing submunitions here, and you tied that into the space-based missile defense thing. So instead of us waiting days and a fire getting like hundreds of acres big, you could sense that thing right away. You dispatch a fighter jet, and instead of doing the training runs at the Yuma Proving Grounds down there, how about you just dispatch them to go put out that fire with one of those cluster munitions and get there quickly while it's still small, and then you only need one or two of them, and now it's taken care of. Now we have this product here that is available to be sold on the worldwide markets, right? Everybody around the world has issues with fires. And now we are using our military industrial complex to actually extinguish fires instead of just start them everywhere for once, right? So if you play this video, this is kind of how this works.
Cluster bombs can be dropped from an aircraft. They open in midair, dispensing hundreds of submunitions, or bomblets, over an area roughly the size of a football field, and causing immense destruction. The submunitions often fail to explode on impact, and thus pose a serious threat to civilian populations, especially children.
So what we just saw there was we had those fire extinguisher balls that you could blow in there, and they could replace the sub-munitions there. They're safe enough, as we just saw, to blow up in someone's hand and not hurt them, right? So it's not, even if some of them accidentally don't explode, it's not going to go kill people walking in the woods later. And then we could actually scramble those fighter jets to get over there and to put that fire out quickly before it burns down like half the state. Arizona, Colorado, California, we get absolutely destroyed. Some of my favorite areas to hike get destroyed by these wildfires, and it's super annoying that we haven't been able to figure this out. So this is one of the things that we need, one of the ways we need to repurpose our military industrial complex into solving our problems for once, instead of just always starting fires, right? Obviously, it's be good to have defense supply lines that stay strong throughout times of peace, but we got to do it in a way that makes sense, that they can get their money, they can keep their supply lines going, but they're actually solving a huge problem for us. And this is one of those things that, like I said, everybody around the world has these issues with these fires. So this is one of those things that they could do, their whole defense contract shaking down the world. Right now they have NATO to where they could shake everyone down.
You know how much money is spent in firefighting just in southeastern Oregon? Millions.
Billions.
Millions just in Harney County alone. Yeah.
Arizona spent several $billions a year the past several years fighting these fires. It's like, dude, make like one or two of these, right, could put the thing out and you could get there quickly. And now it's not a huge problem. Now half our forest isn't burned down. Now, and if you think about it, if we have a bunch of dry forests, and this is where that they always say, oh, the Chinese or the Jewish space lasers, blah, 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 that conspiracy. And back around the time I was talking about this originally, like I was saying, hey, what if China has a satellite with some lasers in the sky and they could start a forest fire on us because everything's so dry and we can't get there for days, right? They could just annihilate us, right? This is a national security issue. So I was making that case because I was saying that this should be something that the military pays for and that the military is responsible for solving, right? They have this massive budget. They have way too much money already. So we should do this and we should take it out of their existing budget and it should cost us no extra money.
Amen.
So that was the point of the space laser conspiracy in the first place. Got a little out of hand. It got, the telephone game on the internet gets like really out of control sometimes. But I stand by the space laser proposal here, right, which is the basis for why you should use these cluster munitions that we want to do. And we should make it happen. So we can have, like I said, we're trying to put together a vision here to make America quantum. That's our slogan.